Morning, everybody. Bill Utenage bringing you another episode of Mindset Monday, where we start our week on positivity and on purpose. So let me start by asking you a question. Have you ever been frustrated with someone or in a situation? Now, I know it's kind of like a rhetorical question because if you're watching this and you're human and you don't live in a cave, and if you lived in a cave, you wouldn't be able to watch me more than likely here on this, is that we've all been there. We've all experienced that. And one of the things that I find to be pretty much the main reason that I have a frustration or get into conflict with someone is an unmet expectation. Okay, there's an old saying, and I don't know who to give credit to for it, is that all conflict is the result of unmet expectations. And if we look at that, and if we look at our lives, we can see that. I've been married to my wife Joni now going on 33 years, and during that time, there's been one or two frustrations, probably way more that she's had with me than I've had with her. But the challenge of that has always come from I had an expectation that I thought was here. Hers was here, was different than mine. And what happened is there was a gap in that. And in that gap is the frustration. And I'll give you an example of this. This is a real-time, real-world example. So my wife Joy and I, we were over the weekend. We were down in Key Largo. We live in Southwest Florida. We scuba dive, and I'd called to schedule a dive on a particular wreck that was down there. Now, I had an assumption that because I had dove there before with them, not at this particular dive site, around about how long it was going to take to get there on the boat. So we get checked in, we get on the boat, and then the captain on the boat says it's going to take about an hour and 50 minutes. So almost 2 hours to get from the dock to the dive site. And which isn't terrible because you're thinking, well, how bad can that be, on a beautiful day? But when the water is pretty choppy and bouncy, that can be a long ride to get to where you're going. And it was just an expectation because I'm used to it being, maybe 30, maybe 40 minutes. And when I hear almost 2 hours, it's like, right? And so what happened to me at that point in time, I had some frustration in that going, it's like, and then I asked myself, okay, all right, this is a first world problems, not a big deal. But then how could I have made that look different? Well, it's always, and this is with anything, is asking more questions. Always seek to understand and get clarity over the situation, because you may assume I tell my wife something, I'm like, oh, well, she's going to know that to do it this way or to do what I've said. Likewise with me. But unless we say that and get clear, so, hey, this is what I hear you saying. This is what you want from me, right? And go through that. Yes, no, whatever that is, and get to an agreement on it. Because if I'm not using the dive example, I'm like, I'm looking at the weather. I'm like, I don't think a 2-hour boat ride, out there and back, may be worth it on that day for me to go and to do that, right? Then I made a decision to go, you know what, let's switch to a different dive and let's stay closer in and something like that, right? Then I was in agreement, in a sense, if you would, with them, when I'm going, okay, now it's all good. So it's always asking, right? Seek to understand and to clarify, just to ask more questions. And the key to that is what I found for me is slowing down. And that is the biggest challenge for me in my life, is slowing down. But when I get quick and when we rush into things, that's where usually is where that frustration gets, because we're not in agreement. We didn't clarify. We didn't ask enough questions. So it's always before you're looking to get into agreement with someone and before you agree to do something, right? People ask us to do something. Hey, can you do this? You're thinking, oh, it's just this little thing. Like, oh no, it's all this other piece of that too. It's like, I wish I would have known that. How many times do we say that? I wish I would have known this. Well, here's how you know this. You ask, like, hey, what else do I need to know about what you're asking me to do? And this is around business. This is around in relationships. It doesn't matter what it is. So slow down, come from a place of curiosity, asking and finding out, getting clarity over it. Then you can make much better decisions on going, it's like, okay, is this something that I want to do or I can do, right now, instead of agreeing to it and then being upset and frustrated about it, because that really, again, only makes it worse. So that's what I've got for you in today's Mindset Monday. Hey, I hope that's helpful for you to hopefully maybe eliminate a little bit of frustration. We had an amazing dive, just as a sidebar to that, on this wreck in the Keys, and so it all worked out great. Sometimes it does. Most of the time it does, I find, in life. It's all how we think and our attitude about it. So go out, make it an awesome week, and I will see you guys back here next Monday. Bye-bye now.